Pranam Maharaj.
Namaskar to everyone.
Pranam
Namaste,
Maharaj.
Kathy.
Pranam Maharaj.
Yes, নমস্কার। কোথায় আছো? তোমাকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না তো।
আমি ভিডিওটা অফ করে রেখেছিলাম।
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে।
রাইট তো?
নো প্রবলেম।
দেখতে পাচ্ছেন এখন?
Yes, now it's okay, clear. Welcome, Vidya. I am seeing Vidya for the last 2 classes.
Yeah, no. Namaskaram, Mama.
Namaskaram.
Yeah, Amma sent me the link. So
Okay.
then I thought I'm free this time. So
Very good, very good. Yes.
Okay.
4:30, shall we start now?
Yeah.
Yes. Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramakrishna. So before we start understanding this hymn, let us listen to Juma when she sings the first 5 verses today. Why I am asking you to listen to this singing is, number one, you get to know the tune also. It is based on a classical raga, Mishra Kalyan. So the tune also you will be accustomed. Number two, the words also you'll be able to pronounce exactly as we sing. While reading, we pronounce in one way. While singing, we pronounce in another way. In the sense that which word we should go to with another word. So that you will learn. And also that it will be more familiar to us. These words will become familiar. So that when we later on analyze these words during our meditation time, they'll be helpful. So Juma, please start.
Yes, Maharaj. Khandana bhava bandhana jaga vandana vandito mai niranjana nararupadhara niranjana nararupadhara nirguna gunamay mochana ghadushana jagabhushana chidghanakai Gyananjana Vimalanayana Gyananjana Vimalanayana Vikshane Mohajay Bhaswara Bhava Sagara Chira Unmada Prema Pathar Bhaktarjana Yugala Charana Bhaktarjana Yugala Charana Tarana Bhavapar Jrimbita Yuga Ishvara Jagadishvara yoga sahai nirodhana samahita mana nirodhana samahita mana nirakhi tava kripai manjana dukha ganjana karuna ghana karma kathor pranarpana jagata tarana pranarpana jagata tarana krintana kalido.
Thank you. So we saw till last week, particularly the 5th verse that we took up for our discussion. So there, Bhanjana Dukha Ganjana, you are the destroyer of the detestable, the despicable miseries. And then, who are you to do like that? Why do you hate the miseries and those miseries you destroy? Why do you want to destroy my miseries? Because you are mercy incarnate, Karuna Gana. Because of your compassion, you are so good to me that you want to destroy my miseries. And destroying my misery, you don't do it just like that, like a magic. You do it in such a way by taking up lots of responsibilities for me. So you do lot of very hard work to remove my miseries. So you are karma kathora. So with this first line we saw. And the second line we saw pranarpana. While doing the activities, while doing hard activities, kathor karma, you have given your life. Pranarpana. By that, this whole universe is being protected. Jagata Tarana. And then the last phrase was Krintana Kalidor. Here we came due to time was over, so we finished it. So this one we shall take up today. Krintana Kalidor. What is door? Door is a string or a rope or anything that can bind with. It's called door. So Kali door. So Swami Vivekananda gives here a very beautiful explanation of this. You are the cutter of the string of the Kali. So why we are all afraid of this Kali? Kali is trying to put its string very tightly on us. So this rope of the Kali is very strongly attached to us. So I will just take you, it's very interesting to see in Srimad Bhagavatam. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you go to, say, second canto, chapter 2, in that you'll find chapter 2 of canto 12, 12.2.1. From there, if you start reading it, you'll be surprised how can Kali, that is the present Yuga, the leader of that Yuga is Kali. Just imagine a person like that Kali, how is he going to bind us? So the Bhagavatam says, it was written 5,000 years back. It says many, many qualities, which I am not going into deeply into that. I will just read 5 verses, the meaning I will read, so that you will know how the Kali is going to bind me. So you may ask, what happened to this Dwapara Yuga before that? And before that, Treta Yuga was there. And what was that? Before that, Satya Yuga was there, or called Krita Yuga. So all these yugas did not bind you? Yes, they also bound us if we are worldly minded. But this Kali Yuga has got a special knack of binding me. What are they? That's what he says. The king is being told by the Rishi. He says, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, and physical strength and memory will all diminish day by day. This is the first influence of Kali. What is the influence of Kali? If you see, all these things will start diminishing day by day. That means my father, how much memory he had, I will have less. His father had how much memory, my father will be having lesser than that. In each item, you'll find it is less and less and less it is coming up. Then second, in Kali Yuga, that is the present Yuga where we are living, wealth alone will be considered the sign of a person's good birth. See, noble quality. We say of noble descent. These things will not be a matter. What will be a matter? Wealth. Do you have money? Then you will be respected. If you don't have money, no respect. That is the Kali Yuga. And then it says that law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power of wealth. Now this we can see everywhere. In Kali Yuga, in every country, you can see this, how the justice can be purchased, how the law will bend for the rich man. You'll find many films also being taken, so you can understand that. Now, another is say, men and women will live together merely because of superficial attraction. They will stay together, and success in business will depend on how much you can deceive people. Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's expertise in sex. The man will be known as a Brahmana, as a noble descent, just by his wearing a thread. Not because of his qualities. Because he has put on a thread on his body, he will be considered as the highest quality man. See how down it goes. A man's spiritual position will be ascertained merely according to external symbols. So you put on nice vibhuti, or you put chandan, or you put the ear locks. Like that, you put so many things, and you put on a dress. All those things will signify your spiritual position by external things. And on that basis, some people will change from one spiritual order to another. This we are seeing even now. Only 5,000 years have gone after 482,000 years, but we are already seeing this. From one order to another order, easily you can change. Oh, I am going to this guru. This guru is not satisfying my curiosity. Let me go to another guru. Like that, you can change your guru so easily. And that is what is happening. A person's propriety will be questioned if he does not earn a good living. And who will be considered a learned scholar? A man who is very clever at juggling of words. So if you can, some people have made it business with the words, and they give very good talks. And to hear them talking good words, you have to pay for money, and then you have to go and attend. So that type of people are considered as learned scholars. A person will be judged unholy if he does not have money, and hypocrisy will be accepted as a normal virtue. Likewise, the Bhagavatam is going on giving one after another. If when you read it, some of them are already have taken place or already being developed now. Like that you can easily see. So this Kali door is very, very strong. The string is becoming, as the day by day goes, the Kali string is becoming more stronger and stronger. So, but then this is called age of darkness. So the age of darkness is called Kali Yuga. But do you think what I told you from Bhagavatam, that all the negative aspects of Kali Yuga, then there is no way for us? Will not Lord descend again as an avatara and take us out from this strong thread? Yes, he does. That's why even in those days, in Vishnu Puran, in that Lord or Rishi, great Rishi Vedavyas has already written it. What he wrote is, Krite yadhyayato. In Krita Yuga, whatever you attain by doing dhyana, by doing meditation. So in Krita Yuga, that is in Satya Yuga, people can just sit and meditate upon something and they will obtain it. You meditate on, say, the best of mangoes produced in India, and sitting in France, you can get the mango straight. That was the Krita Yuga. People wished and they got. Now, the same thing you have to obtain in Treta Yuga. How do you obtain in Treta Yuga? Tretayam yajato makeihi. You have to make a lot of sacrifice, yajnas. By doing yajnas, you can get so many. That's why in Ramayana, which happened in Treta Yuga, you will find Sri Ram is taken by Vishwamitra to the forest. Why? Because in the forest, the rishis were doing a lot of yajnas. Even Sri Ram was born after the yajna was made. So the yajna was a very important tool in the hands of the Treta Yuga people. So Treta Yuga people have to use that tool to obtain whatever they wanted. So if you want a child, so like Dasharatha, he did a yajna and he got not one child, 4 children he got. Likewise, whatever you wish to get, you must do yajnas. That is the rule for Treta Yuga. Then comes Dwapara Yuga. In Dwapara Yuga, Paricharchayam. That means by doing archana to the Lord, by doing worship of Lord. So in Dwapara Yuga, bhakti is highest level. So by bhakti, you can get whatever in Treta Yuga people got by doing yajnas, and in Krita Yuga by meditation. All those things you will get in Kali Yuga also. So what you want, you can get it in Kali Yuga also. So this is a ray of hope in Kali Yuga. Otherwise, all the negatives are coming. Then Bhagavatam says that whatever you can get by the other 3 yugas, by whatever means they did, now in Kali Yuga, you have got one tool with you. With that tool, you can get. What is that tool? Tat Hari Kirtanat. By singing the name of Hari in Kali Yuga, you can get whatever you want. So, singing the glory of the Lord, that is the tool in Kali Yuga. And that's how they, yad apnoti tad apnoti. Whatever they got, you can also get it by Kalau Sankirte Keshavam. Vishnu Puran also says, Kalau Sankirte Keshavam. By taking the name of Keshava, by taking the name of Hari, by singing the glory of Lord, you can get out from the thread of Kali. So, and somebody is required. I have now put that bond is so hard, With my one hand, I cannot cut it. So I require somebody else to come with a scissors and cut. And that is what Swami Vivekananda says, Oh Ramakrishna, you are thou, you are that. Who are that? You cut asunder the bonds of Kali. When I think of Ramakrishna, when I sing the glory of him, like this Khandana, Bhavabandhana, etc., then what happens? He becomes my cutter of the strong thread of Kali. So this Kali door is such a important message, that Swami Vivekananda gives to all of us. So, and the chief characteristic of Kali Yuga is this. What is the chief characteristic? In other yugas, people were having less and less conscious of their bodies. In Kali Yuga, the body consciousness will be highest. Of the 4 yugas, you find step by step, in Kali Yuga, the body consciousness will be highest. And you see Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, though was born in Kali Yuga, was utterly not having body consciousness at all. His mind was always soaring high. He wants to live at a high Atman consciousness, that is in Chaitanya level, he wanted to stay. It was very difficult for him to come back. I take pleasure in telling one incident in Swami Vivekananda's life. In America, he was a guest of a host. That lady took care of Swamiji, and she used to feed him every day. In her house, Swamiji was staying. And below her house, there was a hall. So she has called all her friends. Please come on this evening. One Swami from India has come. He is going to speak to us on Atman. And then some of them known to that lady, they all came. And it was put in the newspaper also. So lots of people came. The whole hall was full. About 500 people were there. And Swamiji was to speak to them about Atman. And from afternoon onwards, by sipping a cup of tea, Swamiji is not in his own form. He has put his dress, that wonderful American dress you have seen, that coat, etc. And he has put on the shoes. And then he put on his turban also. After tying the turban, he straight went to the mirror and looked at him. And he came back and he started sipping tea. And then after a few seconds, again he rushed to the mirror. Like that, some 10, 12 times he rushed to the mirror and looking at his turban and adjusting his turban and coming back. This was noticed by the host, mind you. If you go and stay in somebody's house, they will watch everything of you. They will watch every act of you. And the host lady, she has been watching this, but she kept quiet. She didn't say anything. And then the time came, she took him to the hall, and Swamiji gave a wonderful speech. It was a 2-hour speech. You can read it in Jnana Yoga, that lecture is there. Atman, the Atman, that is the title. About Atma he speaks. And then 2-hour speech he gave. And then he came back after the speech was over, meeting the people, etc. over. Then he came upstairs and wanted to have supper. And so the lady arranged everything, supper, etc. and everything. And Swamiji, as usual, was very jovial. And then he was talking, cutting jokes. And he was talking to that lady nicely. And a few guests also were there. So nicely food was going on. And Swamiji was having one hand a spoon and another hand fork. And with that he was, eating. At that time, the lady asked, Swamiji, can I ask you one question, which is troubling me for the long time? Swamiji said, yes, ask question. Swamiji, before the lecture started, I saw you go to the mirror again and again and adjusting your turban. My question is, were you admiring the handsomeness of your personality? See, this is Kali Yuga. What is Kali Yuga? Body consciousness is Kali Yuga. And when Swamiji heard this question, he was holding this spoon and fork. Both of them fell down on the table. And he looked at the lady with surprising eyes. His eyes are big eyes, And with that big eyes, he looked at the lady. What? What are you telling? I was enjoying the handsomeness of my body. Do you know what happened to me? The moment I was thinking Atman, I could not bring my mind to the body level. If I don't bring the mind to the body level, how I am going to give a speech for 2 hours? So I was afraid I may go into samadhi by thinking of Atman. So I had to go again and again to the mirror and tell, look, Vivekananda, this is Vivekananda. Like that, I am reminding myself that I am having a body. You see, this was the case of disciple Vivekananda. Now you can imagine what was the case of his guru Ramakrishna. Tremendous. In Ramakrishna's stomach, you can see that from the gospel we know that Muhur Samadhi, that is what he was having. Again and again he was going into Samadhi. That means completely cut off the body consciousness. Then is he not the best person to cut the bondage of Kali? So Kali Dora. So he says, Swamiji says, Krintana Kali Dora. Krintana means cutting. You are the cutter, best cutter of the Kali's string, because you are naturally tended to beyond the body consciousness level. So in Kali Yuga, the chief characteristic is identifying I or self with the body. If somebody can cut that and make you understand, no, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the prana, you are not the I, that ego, you are that, thou art that, you are that, tat tvam asi, you are the Atman. Who can say that? Who has gone into that level? Only he can say. So Swamiji says about his guru, Krintana Kalidor. He cuts the bondage of the Kali Yuga. How beautifully he says. Now let us go to the 6th verse. Can you please sing, Juma?
Yes, Maharaj. Vanchana kama kanchana tinindita indriyara tagishwara he naravara tagishwara he naravara Deha Pade Anurag.
Thank you. While going into the meaning also, we should try to enjoy the beauty of the Sanskrit verses written by Swami Vivekananda. You'll find the 5th verse started with Bhanjana. And the 6th one, he starts with Vanchana. See, there are alliterations in the sound. He gives that. And in every verse you will find, like in the 5th verse that we saw, that karma katora kali dora. That kator kali dor, that alliteration, he kept it. Likewise, in the 6th verse also, indriya rag pade anurag. The rag word comes twice. You can find the alliteration. So in poem, poem also is to be enjoyed. The alliterations are wonderful, They also can give the pleasure to the mind. So in the 6th verse, we are now here. Vanchana kama kanchana ati nindita indriya rag tyagishwara he naravara deha pade anurag. Deho pade anurag. So this is a beautiful verse also. As we see this, Vanchana, Kama, Kanchana. This Vanchana and Kanchana sounding similar. The similar sounds are coming, you see. Vanchana, Kama, Kanchana. So in that way also you can understand the beauty of these lyrics. Now, Kama, Kanchana is the word that has been used in the gospel very many times. That's why when Swami Nikhilanji Maharaj translated the gospel, that is the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, from Bengali to English as the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he gave a disclaimer there. Because the ladies will ask this, why he is telling women and gold, women and gold. Does Ramakrishna hate the women folk? No, that is not women and. This Kama Kanchana is translated generally in English as woman and gold, but it is not its exact translation. If you want to say literal translation, Kama is desire. Kanchana is anything that is wealthy or wealth. It's a silver. So this desire and silver, you cannot put it, it doesn't come. So in English, also there are poetical terms are there for this. Lust and lucre. They say both are L, you see. So lust and lucre also is the one word that is used. Or this Kamini Kanchana or Kama Kanchana. So Kamini Kanchana is the word that has been used for which the translation was given at that time was woman and gold. Now Kamini, that is the word that was used. Kamini means is one who is desirable. So that's called Kamini. So this, but Swamiji does not use Kamini Kanchana. He uses the word Kama Kanchana. So he brings out the exact meaning, the hidden meaning of that words used by his guru. So here he says, Kama Kanchana Vanchana. The lust and lucre you have done away with. You don't have anything to do with. Vanchana means there are two meanings are there, mind you. One sense of meaning comes from the word Vanchana is renouncing. That is the first meaning. Renouncing is the first meaning. That is do away with. In simple terms, do away with. Suppose you are desiring something, no, I do not want, you say. So that is called doing away with, is called Vanchana. Another meaning is that this Vanchana word is used for cheating. Why I am made of Vanchana, they say, that means I don't immediately remember a sentence where the Vanchana is used as a cheating, but the Sanskrit meaning says it has got a cheating. Cheating is another meaning. Let us see both the meaning, whether it fits Sri Ramakrishna or not. So first he says, Vanchana, we'll take the first meaning that he is doing away with this Kama and Kanchana, the desire or the lust and the lucre. There are Ramakrishna's life, as I tell you, is nothing but a life of renouncing of Kama Kanchana. If you can read one after another, how every woman became a mother to Sri Ramakrishna. He couldn't think, even in the tantric sadhana, where yes, a person who practices certain types of tantra can accept a woman as his desirable woman and do with her certain rituals, which are very, very gory rituals. And that type of rituals also Sri Ramakrishna could not do. The moment he sees a woman, his mind rises further up and he considers her as his mother. So that type of sadhana also he could not touch, and the result of the sadhana he gets immediately. So you can find even how Bhairavi Brahmani, who came to teach Sri Ramakrishna all these tantra, yogas, etc., she was stunned to see a woman was brought. On her lap, Sri Ramakrishna was to sit. And when he sat there, he looked at her as his mother. 5 women were sent by the temple manager to spoil Sri Ramakrishna. And these women are prostitutes in Calcutta. And they dressed up very, very badly. And they came before Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, in the evening time he was passing by the bank of the Ganga river, and he's chanting Harinam. He's chanting the name of God. And what happened? These 5 ladies came and stood before him. And the moment he saw them, he stopped and put his hands together. Oh, Mother Kali, are you in this fashion also? In front of me? He said. All the 5 women, just went down on their knees and took his feet. And then he said, oh Lord, please excuse us. The manager gave us money to come and tempt you. We are sorry. We should not have done this. Don't curse us. They said, no. Sri Ramakrishna said, no. You are all mother to me. get up, and go your way. And they went away. So any type of test has been done to him. The most severest test that Sri Ramakrishna did in his life was 6 months to keep his wife and very, very young girl, Sarada, next to him, and they together slept in same bed without being touching each other. You see, this is something unimaginable in any life that you can go through. And finally, he brought his practice of considering his wife as his mother by doing a puja, considering her as Tripura Sundari. And he did that wonderful Shodashi puja to his own wife, which has not been in anywhere you can see, in any Puranas you can see. This type of practice, he went to the extreme. You may ask, why Sri Ramakrishna did everything extreme? Nothing is small for him. Okay, he doesn't like money. Okay, it's all right. Kanchana, he doesn't, gold he will not touch. Okay, but then even the coin cannot be kept under his seat where he sits. The moment he comes and touches the seat, his hands becomes short and he folds his hand and he shouts as if some scorpion has come and stung him. And then everybody is wondering what has happened to Sri Ramakrishna. Why he is screaming like this? Then he took away that seat and dusted it, and then the coins fell down. Then he looked at who put this coin to test me. And when he looked at everyone, everybody was looking at him in anxiousness, But only one person in that group put his head down. He could not see eye to eye. And that was Narendranath. Narendranath tested his guru. Think, to know to what extent the renunciation of Kama Kanchana was with Sri Ramakrishna. And when Narendranath knew that this was the extent, so he could not but say, you are the renouncer of Kama Kanchana. Because you went to extreme. So Swamiji calls him Ati Nindita. Ninda means, blaming or finding fault. It's called Ninda. So if you do Ninda, when we're talking about others, when we meet together, some other person has come or is not there, we may say, oh, that person did that, did like that. These are all the gossip about third person, which is negative. Then it is called Ninda. Blaming. So this Ninda is the word he uses for Sri Ramakrishna. Hey Ramakrishna, you used to do Ninda of something and not merely small Ninda by telling words. Ati Nindita. You used to go to the extreme and then you would say that this should not be done. This is bad, you will say. What is you to say like that? And that is called Indriya Rag. Indriya means, the sense organ. We are all having 5 sense organs. So, Jnanendriya 5, Karmendriya 5, like that total 10 sense organs we have. And we have been again and again repeating this, what are they, etc. in other classes. So I'm not going deep into that. But what I'm telling you is this raga, attachment to the sense organs comes. We are all attached to the sense objects. You may say, Swamiji, I am attached to my sense object, but I don't have any raga to the sense organ as such. Yes, we have raga. So this raga is the word, is a very useful word for us to know. This raga used in music also. While composing tune in music, I find there are many musicians are there today. There are those who sing, those who know about music. So the composition has to be done on a poem based on certain tunes. These tunes are called ragas. In Indian music, classical music, they are called raga. Raga means music. So you say Mr. Kalyan Rag, Kamboji Rag, like that. No, Kannada Rag, like that. Every Rag has got a name. And every Raga has got a form also. You may say how Raga can have a form. So if you hear some classical musician singing, so initially he won't go to the song at all. He will take up the Raga and do Alapana. It is called Alapana. So this Alapana time, he would make a vistar. He would go expansion of the Raga. He will say it's only one note. Say Pani Pamasa, like that one note is there. That note he will take and go on expanding it. While expanding it, before your mind, you get a rupa of the raga. The raga takes a form before your eyes. If you can get that, you have become one with the raga. The singer also gets the rupa and the listener also gets the rupa. You know, sometimes I used to enjoy Ravi Shankar's sitar. And the best thing I would enjoy, not the speedy way of finishing that song. That is okay. With the tabla, etc., very nice. But then I would enjoy this alapana only. First 40 minutes he does alapana. In any classical musician, if you go, that's why people go to classical music. Many people go at the end of the time. Because at that time, you know, he won't do the alapana. He will be only singing some songs. Because they can't understand alapana, what it is. The raga, they do not know. So what they will do sitting there? And he's making only ah like that. So what is that ah? They don't understand. So these notes are being expanded. And he makes a beautiful form of the raga. So each raga has got a form. And each raga has got a mellifluous tone. And that tone is called, that is one meaning of raga. Another meaning of raga is attachment. This attachment, you know, this raga, this is something you'll be surprised to see. Even in Gita, Lord Sri Krishna says that raga dvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyascharan. The same indriya word used by Sri Krishna. And here also, Swami Vivekananda uses the word indriya. Indriya rag, he says. He calls it indriya rag, the attachment to indriyas. So, raga dvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyascharan atmavashyar videyatma prasadam vadhigacchati. Krishna says to Arjuna, oh Arjuna, he alone attains peace of mind, who has completely cut off from the raga and dvesha. Raga means attachment, dvesha means hatred. So both these two are two sides of the same coin. So how this raga, this attraction or attachment comes, for that you must go to psychology. What is Hindu psychology? Hindu psychology is written by Patanjali Rishi. This is called Patanjali Rishi's Yoga Sutras. These Yoga Sutras, Swami Vivekananda calls it Raja Yoga. This is a very kingly yoga, it is, among the 4 yogas. So Raja Yoga, he calls it. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Patanjali explains what is this raga, how this attachment comes, what is its effect, etc. He explains psychologically. So that also we must know. So if you see that, what is the raga, etc., he says that Sukha Anushayi Ragaha. What is raga? He explains in a very pithy statement. Just 3 words he has used in the sutra. Sutra means, you know, a small sentence. So in this sentence, he says that Sukha Anushayi is raga. Likewise, in the next one, he says Dukkha Anushayi is dvesha. So one is Sukha, another is Dukkha. So what is raga? Raga is attachment towards the sukha, the pleasure that you get from your indriyas. By using your indriyas, if you get some pleasure, that pleasure remains in your mind. So the best example they give is Calcutta Rasgulla. Rasgulla is everybody loves this Rasgulla, you know. Even in South Africa also I got Rasgulla. And of course, Calcutta, wherever you go, you get Rasgullas. And here also in Dublin, I thought Dublin nobody prepares, but one lady prepares in her home and one day she brought that. So Rasgulla, you get it. And what is this Rasgulla taste? It is mishti, it is sweet. But this sweet taste is something completely different from other sweets. It has got something unique way of tasting is there. So what happens? When you taste one Rasgulla, you have tasted it, you have enjoyed the pleasure of the sweetness. It has become very pleasant, is it not? Now this pleasure that you experienced, it leaves Anushayi, Sukha Anushayi. It leaves something that can be traced back in time. Anushayi means going back or following you. What is that follows? That this pleasant experience, and that is called raga. When this raga will manifest, now none of you has tasted Rasgulla for a few days, for instance. Today I'm talking about that. Immediately you remember the taste of the previous occasion. So when you remember that now, that is called raga. What happened? Whatever pleasure I experience, that leaves a trace. And that trace goes and sits in the mind. Anushayi. Shayan means sleeping, lying down. Shayan Gaur, we say. You know, Shayi. So Shayi, Anushayi. It just sleeps on in your mind. Or you can say in the modern language, it is embedded on your brain computer. So when it is embedded, you cannot take it out. It is there. So like that, every pleasure, this raga, every pleasure leaves an impression within you, and that is called raga. This raga, unless you go to the root, you cannot remove it. So this Indriya raga cannot be removed by telling you, hey, don't eat much. Like that, if you tell somebody, you are not going to help that person. He will go home and then he will forget and then he will eat. So what you should do, you should tell about what he is eating, what is pleasure to him. You should make a ninda of it in such a high terms, ati nindita. Then only you can cut off that attachment. Somebody must tell a diabetic patient, sweetness eating is bad to you. Don't eat Rasgulla. And you have to do ninda of the Rasgulla. How it will create the effect on the body. How it will damage your organs, internal organs. And you should make it in such a graphic way. You have to explain to that person. Then that person will understand, oh, next time when he wants to eat sugar, then he will understand, oh, that Swami told me. He made ati nindita, that is called ati nindita. Extraordinary way you have to speak. And that is what Sri Ramakrishna used to tell his devotees. This Indriya Sukha, this sense organs pleasure, he used to despise to the extreme extent so that people can be got rid of that. How difficult it is, you see. Otherwise, you cannot do it. You can do small, plain ninda, but that is not going to be the medicine for you. It has to be ati nindita. That's why Swami Vivekananda uses very strong words. He says, ati nindita indriya raga. And then, okay, he is renouncer of kama kanchana, okay, and he is a vehement opposer. The way that he despises all these indriya raga, that is attachment to senses, he has done it. So, can we call him some type of title? Can we give him? Swami Vivekananda is now thinking. I have not seen in my life anybody like Sri Ramakrishna who has renounced kama and kanchana to the utmost level and who has spoken ati nindita, spoken badly about this Indriya Sukha, this pleasure of Indriyas. So I should not give some title to him. Then he comes, let me give him title, the title of Tyagishwara. There are kings like that. Like Ramakrishna, there are many saints. But then I will call Ramakrishna as the king of all these ascetics. Tyagi Ishwara. Tyagi means one who does Tyaga is called Tyagi. Tyagin is the word. In Sanskrit, the word is Tyagin. So in the calling, word is Tyagi. So Tyagi, there are several Tyagis are there. The world is not, say, bereft of Tyagis. Even today you will find there are many Tyagis living in this world. But then of all the Tyagis, such extreme nature of Tyaga, I have not seen anybody. So I will call him Tyagishwara. See, the Lord of all the ascetics, the Lord of all the Tyagi. What type of asceticism Sri Ramakrishna had not followed in his life? The whole life is during his stage, living it, Dakshineswar, you can see one after another, the way that he was doing asceticism is something remarkable. We have to only wonder. This Sadhana Parva, the Sadhana Parva, the portion of his practice of sadhanas that is written in Sri Ramakrishna Leela Prasanga by Swami Saradananji. You must read that portion. Only that portion you read, you will get stunned. You cannot believe that a person can go to that extent. Even, see, the Dasa Bhava, I'm telling you one example. Dasa Bhava he practiced. I am the servant of the Lord. Immediately he remembered who is the best example for servant of the Lord? Hanumanji. So while practicing Hanumanji's Bhava, he went and stayed on the branch of a tree. He did not come down to sleep. And Hriday used to go and call his mama, Mama, you will fall down, you will sleep. If you sleep there, come down. He didn't know what Ramakrishna was doing. Ramakrishna did not tell him one by one, but he took care of his body. That was a good thing. That's why otherwise you would not have got Ramakrishna even up to 50 years, So because of Hriday that we got him up to 50 years at least. So he was sitting there and he is telling everyone, see, I have got a tail also grown, he says, and he's showing to everyone, see, the tail has grown. To that extent, to the extreme level, a person can go. That's why Vivekananda says, he is the Lord of all the ascetics. Tyagishwara. This is something great. When you say Tyagishwara, the Lord of all the ascetics, immediately we normal people, what do we think? Excuse me. What do we think? We think, you see, Sri Ramakrishna was an avatar. He was a great man. So he did all these things that was possible for him. Is it possible for me? It is not possible for me. Immediately, when you hear about Jesus Christ, he said, take from the water a cup of water and feed everyone. He said, sir, that container has got only water. Okay, you want to give tea to everyone? Put your mug into that and take it out. He said, it is water. And then when he poured it, it was wine. So the whole village people were given wine merely from water. How it happened? He was an incarnation of God. So he did that. Like that we say, these ordinary people, what do you say? Jesus did that, but it is not possible for me. Nothing is possible. So whatever they did, nothing is possible for me. Adi Shankaracharya, when he was going, he was tested by somebody. How he tested, he brought a firewood and the fire was, with the flames it was there. Then he challenged Shankaracharya, can you eat this fire? Shankaracharya said, bring it. And he took one by one that wood, and the wood was burning with flames. He put it in his mouth. So he ate fire. So it is written there. Will you eat fire like that? It is not possible. Now, when we cannot do certain things of those great people, what do we say? They are all big people. They are all great people. They are all God's messengers. So they could do. We cannot do. So that means we will not be able to follow any of the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. That's what will happen. So in order not to get into that type of sanguinity, Vivekananda comes and gives a break. And he says, don't think Ramakrishna as avatar only, he could only do. No, he was like you and me. He is also a Nara. He was a human being. Only thing, he was the best of the human. Just to remove us from that, Maya, that we may be thinking only Ramakrishna can do. Ramakrishna lived a life of truthfulness. We cannot live. We have to tell lies. Some people just make it a point to tell a lie. So that's how we think. So let us not fall into that type of an assumption and then do all sorts of things, which are not to be done. So to protect us, Vivekananda immediately points out to us, no, don't think Ramakrishna only a Paramahamsa, that he can do. He is a Nara also. He is Naravara. But he is a human like me, like you. But then what is the difference? He is Vara. Vara means the best, the Sreshta. So the best of the Naras, he was. How beautifully he says a Naravara. Now, who is the best of us? Uttama Purusha. Sri Krishna speaks about Purushottama. There is one yoga, one chapter devoted to Purushottama Yoga. The chapter is called Purushottama Yoga. You must read that, 15th chapter. And then there he says, Uttama Purusha Stanyo. Paramatme Tudagraha. So he says, who is called Paramatma? One who has realized Paramatma, he is called Uttama Purusha. He is called Purushottama. So Sri Ramakrishna realized himself, Atman, so he is called Uttama Purusha. So he is called Naravara. Vara means, Varenyam. Varenyam means one who has chosen. So that's why in Bengali, this Vara is used for the groom. Who is your bor? Like that they ask. This bor means the bride has selected a person to be her husband. That's why the groom is called boro. If you write it in Bengali, it is boro. So what is this boro? Means I have chosen. Not that he has chosen me. I have chosen him to be my husband. So he is my bor. In Bengali, that word is used. In the Assamese, they is used. In other languages also they used. But then, so this vara in Sanskrit is that word. It comes from that word. So vara means chosen. Naravara. So he is the Uttama. So when he is best of all of us, when in a society of 10 people, one man is exemplarily better than others, then what others will, how do their reaction to them? They will all come and bow down. If the Prime Minister comes, you all bow down. Because he is a Naravara. He is the chief. He has been chosen to run a country. So likewise, that a person who is chosen to conduct an ashram, a person who is chosen to give diksha to thousands of people as a guru, that is Naravara. To him, what you will say? Will you go and command him? No. You will have to pray to him. You have to say, hey Naravara, oh best of the humans, please give me Deho Pade Anuraga. Pade Anuraga. Pade, see, another place also we use this word Padam. Padam in Guru Stotram also we got Padam. I told you at that time, Padam means in this context is position, etc. But there is another meaning. Padam means feet also. Foot is called also Pad. So step is called Pada. So Padak Shepa also we say that. If you interfere with your foot down, then you say Padak Shepa. So like that you say you object like that. So this Pada is used for the meaning of foot. So I have Deha Pade Anurag on your foot. Please, in your feet, you should say double, 2 foot are these feet. So you have to say feet in your feet. Please give me Anuraga. The earlier line, he said Indriya Raga. the same raga, this attachment, can become anuraga if it is turned towards God. Okay, the pleasure of eating rasagulla is going and sitting in your mind as a raga. Sukha anushayi raga. We saw that. But suppose you take the name of God, you sing Khandana Babandana in the ashrama, and your mind is filled with beauteous, joyous feeling. That also becomes raga, mind you. That also goes and gives and stays embedded in your brain. And that is called anurag. So he says, I don't give me the attachment to the indriyas, to the senses, but give me the anurag at your holy feet. That's how Swamiji beautifully asks, praise to Lord Sri Ramakrishna. So before signing off, we can discuss. Today, nobody stopped me on the way. I thought somebody will stop. Shubhra has come. I think Shubhra can say something. Unmute and say if you want to say anything.
Maharaj, I have to say something.
Okay.
You asked me to post the link, so I have posted the link of that YouTube channel. If you could please just tell everybody.
Okay, oh, that's good. So our Jumadi has posted the link for these previous classes. You can go there and listen one by one. Or any class you can take up and hear it. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, Maharaj, I was enjoying so much that when you explain that Bhagavatam, how all these things were already told so many years ago and it's been happening now. And you said there are many more years that we will have to tolerate this.
432,000 years to be specific.
Oh my God. It's amazing. And also, Maharaj, Purushottama Yoga, why during the Shraddha time they read that chapter only?
Oh, that's it. See, the Shraddha time, what happens is an occasion when the soul has left the body.
Right.
Is it not?
Yeah.
So the ultimate goal of the soul is to get Aikya, to be one with the Paramatma. So that is the best time to remind the survivors, the people who are sitting there, to think about Paramatma. That's why that particularly that chapter is taken. Of course, second chapter also is chanted.
May I ask a quick question, Maharaj? You said that for Vanchana, two meanings are there, and you'll see that whether the second meaning is also being used. Did you want to say something?
Yes. Thank you for remembering that. I told that I will tell you about that, but that I just went on in the flow. Yes, there is another meaning I told you. Vanchana means cheating. Sei lokti amake vanchan kore dilo. Bole in Bengali we can say. In Hindi also you say, wo aadmi usko paas 10,000 rupiya diya, wo vanchan kar diya humko. Matlab, he has betrayed me. He has cheated me. So, generally, this Kama Kanchana always cheats us as a Jivatma. We are all bound by these two. Always cheats us into something or other and brings us to Kama Kanchana. But Sri Ramakrishna cheated them. I will not come under your control. I am above this Kama Kanchana. So in that sense also, one can explain this Vanchana.
Maharaj, this is Vidyadhar Nathu here.
Oh yes, welcome Vidyadhar, yes. You are our ex-student, so special welcome to you.
Maharaj, you talked of the impact of Kamini Kanchan and sense pleasures on they getting embedded in the mind. Now this is, there's a lot that has happened historically with us, and there's a lot that's happening with us now and possibly, hopefully never will happen in the future. But how do you actually get rid of what is already embedded?
Oh yes. You see, when it gets embedded, in action, it comes as a raga. Okay. The raga can be getting strengthened. The embedment that is being done in our mind, or the impression that is falling in our mind, in that groove, it makes a groove. One groove you did that portion say the pleasure of eating Rasgulla has fallen. Now, that pleasure, what I'm doing, I'm repeatedly experiencing in my life. Say in a whole year, I will do 10 times if you eat Rasgulla, 10 times that simple groove that was there is being strengthened. How a man is attracted to woman and woman is attracted to man is because of this. It has become so strong. This pleasure item has become so strong in our mind. So the moment you see that Kama and Kanchana comes in our mind because of this, because it is so strong. Now the strength of that has to be reduced. There is no way other than stopping it initially. So if something that I am doing physically, that has to be stopped initially. That's why Sri Ramakrishna used to advise the householder, after 2 children, live like brother and sister. This he has been hitting very hard to the householders. And so many people used to be seated there, and Yam notes it. Sri Ramakrishna is advising the householders. So this, unless you stop a particular experience, it will be gaining more and more strength, you see. And the Kali, the door is getting more and more strengthened. So first thing is abstention. Now second is, you have to bring Viparita Bhavana, as Patanjali says, that Viparita Bhavana must be brought. So if I think that this taking sweet is going to harm me, I have to bring that one more and more in my mind, so that that portion becomes, the previous one, the raga, becomes slowly weakened. Like that only we wean away from the bad habits. And like that only we have to proceed in our life. How many births it may take, we do not know. But by His grace, it can be done very easy. That's why Kalau Keshava Sankirtanath. By Sankirtan only, this can be reduced, if the effect can be reduced. So that is one tool is there in Kali Yuga, which was not available in other yugas. You see. Yes.
Nice.
Anyone else?
I have a question, but maybe later. It's already 5:35. It'll be late, isn't it?
I don't have any job, so I can go on, but then other people also there. The people may be thinking they have got certain session time, so they may go for lunch or supper, etc., according to the timings. Is it a big answer? Does it require a small answer?
I really don't know. It might be a very stupid question also. It just, as you were discussing about Kali Yuga, the question just came to my mind. Why is it called Kali?
Oh, Kali.
Koli kyano bole?
Yes. Kali means dirt.
Achha, Kali means bud also, na?
Mala. It is a kind of mala. Mal. Oh. So Kali malam is the word that you used. Any dirt that is dirty, anything that is dirty is called Kali.
So we are living in this dirty yuga, huh? The name is also...
Yes, the name, yes. And another meaning they say is blackish. Blackish is also called Kali.
Achha. And Koli, what don't you say in Bengali, bud? Koli?
Koli, yes, there are different meanings of that. But here it is the age of darkness is what signifying.
Age of darkness, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, this is a simple question. Okay. If nothing else is there, then I will conclude. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you, everyone.
Pranam,
Pranam Maharaj.
Pranam everybody. Pranam Maharaj.
Oh my God, so beautiful.